Good morning. My name is John Hawkins, and I'm honored to serve as the CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire Chief and have done so since August 1st, 2006. The real honor today is to have you before us so that we can talk about Wildfire Awareness Week kickoff. As I enter my 51st year with CAL FIRE, I have to tell you, none of my drive for this job has lessened. And when I look at these firefighters, and we're surrounded by firefighters, every one of them want to do the job, and I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud today that we have our Director, Ken Pimlott, representing the U.S. Forest Service, and Chair of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors, Jeff Stone. One prefacing comment, and then I'll hand over to Director Pimlott. As we gather here today with our partner agencies, and I want you to think about that, partner agencies, and honored guests and media representatives, please look at the mountains to the east. You already saw a fire in the city of Hemet, but look at the mountains to the east. If you look over there to the east-southeast, July the 15th, 2013, you'll see the mountain fire that burned 27,000 acres and threatened Idlewild and led to the evacuation of Idlewild. If you look to the northeast, you'll see the mountain fire. The mountain fire started August the 7th, 2013. It burned initially 2.5 miles in 30 minutes, and the math is easy. That's 5 miles an hour. And with that, I would like to introduce to you the CAL FIRE Director, Ken Pimlott, and he'll have some words to share with us.
Thank you, Chief Hawkins. Good morning, and thank you. Chief Hawkins really painted the picture about what we're doing this week. We've had an opportunity with our partners, Chief Shana Garza from the U.S. Forest Service here in California, our partners at the National Guard, the Office of Emergency Services, and many others at local government, both within the fire service, law enforcement, and many of the other organizations and agencies such as the Red Cross that assist us. We have all been statewide this week talking about Wildfire Awareness Week. This is the first week of May every year where the governor proclaims Wildfire Awareness Week so that we have an opportunity to get the word out about fire season and about what the fire agencies are doing and about what the public needs to do to prepare themselves for fire. There's been a lot of talk this year in the media about drought conditions. We are experiencing our third year of well below normal precipitation and snowpack statewide. And nowhere is that more apparent here in Southern California, where we have never gone out of fire season. Our firefighters have been staffed year-round and continuing to go to fires throughout Southern California. As a matter of fact, in January, we recorded over 400 fires in the first month alone of this year. That's a time on average where we generally have 0 or very few fires. So already we are off to a very significant start. Statewide, we have had 1,200 fires, over 1,200 fires. Normally we would have about 600. We're seeing large fires such as you saw last week here in Rancho Cucamonga, the Etiwanda fire, but in Northern California as well. As early as January, the first week of January, we had several fires in Humboldt County, some over 300 acres. That's an area of the state that's normally the wettest in the country, and we're already seeing large fire activity. So with that, Governor Brown declared a drought emergency at the end of January, and that has brought to CAL FIRE the ability to, one, staff our resources very, very early. We have begun staffing in Northern California in late January. We, again, staffed here in Southern California, never left staffing. We have continued to add staffing. We have augmented firefighters statewide. This air attack base here at Hemet, not to mention our Ramona air attack base to the south, and many others in the region have been working continuously throughout the winter, providing that aerial firefighting attack on wildland fires. So we at CAL FIRE and our cooperating agencies behind me here are prepared. We have staffed up early. We are available. We are providing that offense against these wildland fires. What we're asking the public to do is to provide that defense. It's critical now that the public hears the message that we are in critical fire danger statewide, particularly here in Southern California. So you simply need to go to the website, readyforwildfire.org. At that website, you can find all the things that you need to do to prepare for a fire or other emergency. 3 simple words are there: ready, set, go. Ready. Prepare your home ahead of time. Defensible space. Do that 100-foot clearance. Make sure your property is well marked with your address so firefighters can find it when they arrive. Have an evacuation plan set so your family knows what to do in an emergency. The set part of Ready, Set, Go is just that. Prepare all your belongings so that you know what to take when it's time to evacuate, know your evacuation routes, review your evacuation plan, and then go. And that means just that. Leave early. Pay close attention to media reports. Don't wait till the fire is upon you. Don't necessarily wait till you're told to evacuate. Leave orderly and quickly so that the firefighters can come into your neighborhood and safely protect your property. The other campaign is one less spark, one less wildfire. You may not know that 95% of wildland fires in California are started by people. That means that 95% of the wildland fires can be prevented. Every fire starts from just one spark. So for every spark we prevent, we've prevented one fire. So again, our take-home message this year, we've done our part to prepare for these unprecedented conditions. Now it's time to do your part. So with that, I would like to introduce Riverside County Supervisor and Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Jeff Sohn.
Thank you, Director Pemlott. It's an honor to have you down here today, and thank you for your partnership with Riverside County for all the years that we've worked together. I'm very proud to say that we are partnering with the state of California on a new air attack base, which is going to be on the other side of the runway. And we are very close, as the Director will confirm, to reaching an agreement, and I'm hoping by the beginning of the next year that we'll begin constructing our new state-of-the-art air attack base, which should be the most sophisticated air attack base in the state of California. I also want to thank our Chief Hawkins, who's been a tremendous fire chief for us in Riverside County, and to any young people that are aspiring to get into the fire service and want to be a fire chief. If you just aspire to what Chief Hawkins has accomplished in his 51 years of being CAL FIRE employee and now chief of our county, you will aspire to greatness. The Riverside County Board of Supervisors is and remains strongly committed to public safety in Riverside County. My particular supervisorial district is susceptible to wildfires, the most susceptible of any of the other districts in our county. And I make it a point to understand this and to monitor fire activity on a regular basis with our fire chief, monitoring weather and fire conditions year-round to be informed and, more importantly, be prepared. We all know the devastating fires caused by the mountain fire, which started on July the 15th and burned 27,531 acres and forced the evacuation of Idlewild, Mountain Center, Garner Valley, Pine Cove, and other mountain communities. 7 structures were lost in this fire. Had we not had this air attack base here, and there was efforts to move it to March Air Force Base a decade ago, I'm not sure we would have fared as well as they did. I also want to commend our Sheriff, Stan Sniff, and his deputies that evacuated the mountain within a 4-hour period of time, not knowing what kind of devastation we could potentially see. A second large-scale fire was the Silver Fire, which started on August 7th and burned approximately 20,000 acres and destroyed 26 homes, 1 commercial building, and 21 outbuildings in Poppet Flats, Silent Valley RV Park, Twin Pines, Snow Creek, and portions of Cabazon were mandatorily evacuated. The Riverside County Board of Supervisors fully supports the Mountain Area Task Force and Mountain Communities Fire Safe Council, which meets consistently and constantly with fire and law enforcement officials to prepare for emergencies like these, thus lessening the risk of life and property loss in these fire-prone communities. We realize the importance of an integrated, cooperative, regional fire protection agreement, the one that we have with CAL FIRE, especially here at Ryan Air Attack Base, who pumped over 800,000 gallons of fire retardant that was instrumental in suppressing the wildland fires throughout California in 2013. In closing, I cannot stress enough the importance of wildfire preparedness throughout the county and throughout the state of California. Every individual and homeowner, especially in the wildfire-prone areas, must take a stand in preparing their homes against these dangerous and devastating fires. At this time, I'm honored to introduce Chief Shana Garza, U.S. Forest Service Region 5, Director of Fire and Aviation Management. Chief?
Good morning, and thank you very much for everyone coming out to the press conference today. We've spent this entire week, Wildfire Awareness Week, the U.S. Forest Service together with CAL FIRE, traveling the state of California, getting the message out about fire prevention and the importance of conservation of water while we go into a 3-year drought. So I was thinking about the talk for this group last night, and I thought about when I was on the San Bernardino National Forest working down here. Our fire season started pretty early last year. We had some Santa Ana winds that came in the springtime, which was unusual, just like this year, and it kind of kicked off in April and then in June, and we had 5 different incident management teams that came down on the San Bernardino County CAL FIRE Riverside CAL FIRE unit and the San Bernardino National Forest. 5 IMTs from June until August. And then there was more fires all across the state. We had fires in the middle part of the state and fires up north. And then we came into the winter time and it didn't stop. We had to continue beefing up our staffing. We had to ask for additional severity money so we keep the engines and the aviation and helicopters and the folks staffed through the entire winter time. Then we saw fires just after New Year's up in the northern part of California, in areas that should not have a fires in January. Then we saw fires in February down in the Angeles, and then just last week on the San Bernardino National Forest with another rare wind event and the fire at the Etiwanda Fire. So people have been working for a long time, and all the agencies have been doing a great job responding to the fires, and it's critical we continue to do that, and we will continue to do that. But we need help from the public. Spread the word. If you have new people that move into your neighborhood, show them the different websites that we have, the ReadySetGo.com, the One Less Spark, One Less Wildfire. Talk to them about evacuations, because it could be not if, it could be when. You know, when we evacuated that mountain fire last year on the San Bernardino, it was one of the most smoothly coordinated, organized evacuations that I've seen in a long time. It's because people that live in Southern California are ready for fire. So be a leader in your community. If new people move in, share that information with them so they too have their bags packed and ready to go. The last thing that I think about is just back to the firefighters and the nonstop fire season we've had. It's 365, 24/7 in Southern California. So just making sure that you're taking time out for yourself, with your families. Thank your families for allowing you to be in the public service, and have a very safe season. Thank you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to my good friend, Chief John Hawkins.
I would like to offer you some concluding comments and thoughts. The major fires that we had last year are a reminder of the future. Remember, we all learned in history classes, history repeats itself. And that's an unfortunate thing, but it's a true thing. So we have to be ready. We have to be fire ready. Supervisor Stone mentioned the value of different partnerships we have, such as the Mountain Area Safety Task Force, both the mountain communities and the Southwest Fire Safe Councils, community emergency response teams, the American Red Cross are all valued partners in Riverside County. With a population growth over the last 10 years in the county and into the wildland urban interface areas, we are concerned. Owners must remove the overgrown material and follow the Public Resources Code, which requires 100 feet of clearance around their structures. Residents in those wildland urban interface areas and rural areas can do best for their families by making their properties safe. CAL FIRE, Riverside County Fire, we have a containment goal of 95% of our fires to 10 acres or less. That's important to us. It's important to achieve that objective. We throw every resource we can at every call. As you look at all of the agencies here, we pull our resources regularly, whether they're CAL FIRE, Riverside County Fire, United States Forest Service, or whomever. we pool our resources to strike hard, strike early, and strike out the fire. Finally, I ask you to enroll in the county's emergency warning notification system, which is another brand name for what you probably know as reverse 911. We will have handouts today that you can enroll your cell phone or your wireless device in the emergency warning notification system. Your hardline is already in that system. That gives us the ability, such as we did on July the 17th of 2013, when we evacuated 5,600 people in Idlewild and used the emergency warning notification system. It calls up to 250,000 calls an hour, and it calls each resident 6 times. With that, as we recognize the 2014 Wildfire Awareness Kickoff Week, I ask you just this: be aware, be prepared, and be fire ready. Do it for your families, and do it to keep our firefighters safe. We'll now take questions.